Get your home ready for fall with these 4 cozy DIY projects. They're quick, affordable, and perfect for autumn decorating. So these are the supplies that you're going to need. Just some leftover fall florals, whichever ones you like. I got these from the Dollar Tree. I have a few different. Um, these are smaller ribbons that I might use, and I've got this Thanksgiving ribbon that I'm going to use, and some of this lacy burlap. I really like this stuff. Okay, and you will need some pipe cleaners and perhaps a few zip ties, whichever one you prefer. You will probably need the pipe cleaners because that's what I use to attach the swag to the lantern. Okay, so I'm going to put all this aside and we'll get started. Oh, and you might need some wire cutters to help cut your stems. Okay, so I'm just going to I'll try to make it as evenly as possible. I'm going to just make 2 sides here. I'm just adding the different pieces that I have. I have like this boxwood, give it a little bit more green. And I've got these 2 sunflowers. I'm going to put one on each side. I'm going to bend it up a little bit so that the flower can be seen. I'll do the same on this side, but before I do that, I want to cut these. Cut all this off right here. And I'm just using, like I said, like leftover florals that I had. It doesn't take much because your lantern, doesn't need a whole lot of greenery unless you prefer it. And this is just a simple, I'm going to bend it up just a little bit. So box right on this side. You just want to sort of match what you're putting on each side. And you can play with it, arrange it however you like. Stick this one in here. Okay, I think I like that. And then I'll just take a zip tie and zip tie it all together so it'll stay. You can put more than one if you need to. I think this will be good. Cut off. Okay. All right. So now, kind of arrange it a little bit. good. All right, now I'm going to make a bow to put, and we're going to put it right here in the middle of it. And you can do as many loops as you like to use to, to make. I'm going to make some that are shorter and then some that are longer. I think I want to make about 4 loops. Let's take. And this is just a piece of leftover ribbon that I had that I decided not to use on another project. So I use a zip tie on this one too. Leave that one long for now. Take my burlap, and it's shorter pieces that I had left over, so I'm just going to make loops. This, and then I'll make another one. Sure, they're about the same size. So yeah, I'm just crossing them over this way. Then I'll take the pipe cleaner that I have. Take it, I'm going to pull it tight. And then I will attach it to my other bow. It's right in the middle. And this way, you won't be able to see the zip tie that I have on the other one. Nope, I didn't cut that. Again. Okay, and before I tighten it all the way, I'm going to add another pipe cleaner right in the middle. This one will be longer, and I'll use that one to attach the whole thing to my lantern. Once I have this one twisted a few times, I'll cut that one off. Now we can fluff our bow and these. Cut this one here. I don't have my scissors, but I will take my scissors and I'll cut these two a little bit shorter. Okay. dovetail it. And it's about the same length as this, so I think I'm going to leave it like this. That way they hang off. And let's see, before I attach that, I'm going to open this ribbon. This is not a wired ribbon. It's really cute. I love the little pumpkins on it. See, I'm thinking I can make just going to make a small bow. Remember how to make this bow. Over. Loops are even, and I'm going to pinch it in the middle like that. Okay, yeah, so I'm going to use this navy blue rib. It's grosgrain. It's like 3/8. I'm going to tie this bow in the middle with it and then let the rest of it hang off. Okay. And I'll just probably hot glue this on top of this one right here once I have this one attached. And you can put more than this if you like. If you want, you know, you put however many bows and loops that you like. I have navy blue in my decor in my living room, so I like to incorporate it when I can. Just going to attach the bow, my little swag. Yes. And then you can go in and flip it up. I will hot glue this down, and then we can attach it to the lantern. Okay, so here's the top of my lantern, and I'm just going to attach swag to the top right here using these pipe cleaner feedback. And so now all I have to do is glue this here and turn this so you can see it better. Okay, so today I'm starting to get ready for fall by making these this swag with the Dollar Tree Christmas trees. And so what I did was I put them together with some zip ties. I put about 4 of them to hold them together, and I staggered the big ends at the top, and so that I could get to be much fuller and that teardrop shape. And then I'm going to use some mesh and fill it in. I got this gold mesh from Amazon, and I'm just gonna make some curls and put them throughout the swag. And so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and I'll show you how I do that. So I'm just gonna cut them into 20 inches long pieces, and you'll need about 8 of them to fill in your swag. What I'm going to do is start to fold them up on each end after I cut this. So I just cut it with my rotary cutter. You can use a burner if you want to. But I just start rolling them up on one end a few times, and then I'll clip it. And then I just turn it around and I start folding it up on the other end a few times. And then I will just start to walk it up to the other side, right through the center. And then when I get back to the clip, I just take that clip out and clip it again, and that holds it all together. Okay, so what I'll do to attach it is I'm just going to use the branches of the trees. You can use a zip tie or something if you'd like, but the branches hold it really well, so I just take it and twist the branches around it. And then I'll go in and I'll put another one next to it. And then just sticking it in there and wrapping the branches around it again. And then I'll just kind of fluff it out a little bit. And then I'm going to stick another one down here at the bottom. And then I'll turn it around and I'll start to put the ones on the other side. And then I'll put some in the middle also. So about 8 of them will fill it. Okay, so I'll do that and I'll meet you back here in a moment. Okay, so next we can decide on our embellishments. I've got a few pine cones that I'm going to place in here, and I have some of these little sunflowers, and I have these brown ornaments that are Christmas ornaments, but I thought the color fit very well. I love the shape of them. They sort of remind me of acorns, so I thought they would look really good in here and not look really Christmassy. So I think I'll place the few that I have in here also. Okay, and so before I start to place all of my embellishments on here, I think I'm going to start by making the bow, and I'm going to place the bow on top of the swag here, so it'll cover this metal bar and it'll hide it. Okay, so I'm going to use this fall ribbon that I got on Amazon. It's really cute. It has some gnomes on it with pumpkins, and it says Hello Autumn. And then I've got this black and white checkered ribbon that says So Very Thankful on it. Okay, so to start my bow, I'm just going to make a loop. First I'm going to make sure I have like a 6 or 7 inch tail, and then I'll start to make the loop, bring it together and pinch it in the middle, and then I'll start to make the second loop and bring it in the middle and pinch it, trying to make my loops the same size. And then I'll make 2 bigger loops, just a little bit bigger than the first ones. So then I'm making a 4-loop bow, and I will pitch it in the middle, turn it, and make sure I leave a tail that's about the same length as the other one. So I'm just gonna take my scissors and just cut it even for right now, and just adjust it and make sure all the loops are fluffed out and everything is even. So then I'm gonna just use a 6-inch piece of pipe cleaner to put it all together and twist it in the back really tight, just to secure everything together. So I want to make my bow larger, so I'm going to use this other ribbon, and I'm going to make another 4-loop bow, but this time I'm going to make the loops a little bit smaller, and then I'll attach it to the big one to make one big bow. So you just do basically the same thing you did with the first one, making sure you twist it around. If you have ribbon that is double face, you wouldn't have to do that, but since this one's just single. Okay, then I'm just gonna adjust it, make sure everything is even, and just twisting my tails and making sure that they're facing forward, and then I'm going to attach it to the big one. And to attach it, I'm going to use a zip tie. It's a 6-inch zip tie, but you can use a longer one if you need to, if that's all you have on hand. So I'll just take it and attach it, and and I'm going to make sure I pull it really tight. Okay, so now I'm just going to start to shape it and making sure all my tails are facing in the front, and then I'm going to go in and start to fluff up and fluff out the loops. Just pull them out, twist them a little bit, and so that they're all nice and fluffy. And then I will go in and start to dovetail my ends of the tails. And I love the look of the dovetail. If you prefer, you can cut them at a slant. I just like the look of the dovetails. Okay, so now we can attach our bow to the top of our swag, and I'll do that by taking the pipe cleaner that we had from the front, the first bow, and then I'm just going to attach it, twist it to the back. You want to twist it really tight, and you can use a zip tie here also if you prefer. Just put another zip tie to attach it. Just want to make sure it's nice and secure. And I'll cut that tail off of the zip tie I had put on earlier, and I'm just twisting it and kind of tucking it in so it doesn't stick out. And so now we can go on in, place all of our embellishments onto our swag. I'm just fluffing out the bow. Okay, so I also have some of this boxwood greenery that I'm going to put in there. I like the contrast of the green of the boxwood. Gives it a different shade of green. And you can put any other picks or greenery that you want. Fall leaves. I'm just sticking in right here for now. I'll go back and I'll hot glue them in there once I have everything placed where I want it. Okay, so now I'm just going to start to place my pine cones. And then I'm going to place some of my flowers. And you can use some pumpkins or acorns or any other fall item that you like, any other fall flower that you might prefer. And you can also add some other leaves and greenery as well. Okay, so here it is. I'm just gonna finish this up and then I will hang it on my door and show you what it looks like. Okay, so the first of the 3 projects that I'm going to do today is a lantern. And it's a mini lantern, not a huge one. I like to put them on my mantle. I have several that I've made for Christmas, but this particular one I want to make for Thanksgiving or the fall season with the fall theme. So I use the Dollar Tree wood tumbling tower blocks, and you can see now they come with some that are just the plain and some that are stained already in brown. So I've separated the browns from the plain, and I'm going to use the browns for this project. So I'll set this aside. And oops, a little clumsy. Okay, so the first thing I do is I want to make the base. And the base I usually, let's see, I make it out of like 5 or 6, let me see, 6 blocks this way. And then I will put 2 going long ways on this side. Same again on this side. And because I want it to be more square, I'm going to add another line here. And so I'll glue all these together to make my base. And then I want to make a little bit of a, sort of like a tray, because I'm going to put a tea light candle in it. And I want to make sure the tea light candle doesn't slide around, it'll fit right perfectly inside that little tray. And I'll show you that when I get to that. So first I'm going to start gluing these. And I'm using the Type Bond Premium wood glue. This dries pretty fast, and I really like this glue. You can use Gorilla, whatever brand that you like. Even the Dollar Tree has some good glue, wood glue. So just take them this way, and I'll usually do like 2 of them together. And don't worry about the glue seeping out. You can clean that up really easily. And this glue will dry pretty clear, so it doesn't, it's not going to come through and you won't be able to see it or tell that it's glue. And you can always paint over that if you like. I usually have a paper towel nearby to wipe off any excess glue, and most of the time I'll wet it. That helps a lot. Okay, and then I'll start with my ends. And another good thing I love about this portrait paper is, um, it might stick a little bit if the glue is seeping out from underneath, but you'll be able to pull it up very easily and it won't mess anything up. And this glue dries pretty fast, so, and it does wash off your fingers very well. You don't have to worry about that. Okay, so once this dries up, I'm just going to glue them together and then I'll show you my base. Okay, so here's the base, and here's the top piece that I was talking about, that will hold the tea light candle. And all I did here was I glued these pieces. I'll show you, like, so. And then I'll make another one that's like the same. And then you'll go and glue them. This. Just making a little square. Okay. And then I just glued it to the base like this. And it'll fit my tea light right in the center. Okay. Okay, so the next thing we're going to do is make the legs for our lantern. And all I do is take two of them and put them together like this. You want to make sure that the ends are as even as possible. So when you stack them, they'll be straight. And some of these blocks, they're a little bit off. So you'll want to make sure you're matching two of them together that are straight on both ends. Some might be a little shorter than the other, so just don't use the shorter ones. And I'll just let those dry. I have one here that's already dry. And use this. So now at this point, you're going to go and dab a little glue. Spread it out just a little bit. Okay, and then we'll stack them end to end and glue them. Make sure they're straight. And give it a couple of minutes like this until you know the glue's getting a little bit more adhered to it. Then you can lay it down and glue another piece on. But once you do that, then you get this. So all three of them on top of each other. And then that makes one leg. So then you'll take some more and make 4 legs. So then I'm going to glue them to my bottom platform here, like this. But before we do all that, we'll make the top. So the top is pretty much the same as the bottom. You're going to do the same 6 in a row. And the 2 on each, well, you're going to do 4 on one end and 2 on the other to make your square. So you'll glue all those together for your top. Okay. And then I'm going to do like I did this platform here, except that I'm gluing them together flat instead of, on end. And like this. And then you're going to make 2 of these. And you're going to stack them on top of each other, gluing them the next platform the same way as the bottom. Now I would do, one at a time, glue it together, and then when it's, when you've got each little section done, stack it on top of this one and glue it all together. Okay. Then I will take 3 more and glue them in the end, side to sides like this, and put that on top of this, and then put this whole thing, glue the whole thing on top of your top platform, and that will give you this section. So now we can glue everything together, and I'll show you. We can start with our bottom. Take out our candle. And then I'll start to glue the legs on. So in order to make it square, I don't want to do it all the way, in the corner. I want to bring it in a little bit, and I'm going to try to get a little bit on the edge here for the leg as well, so that it's got a little bit more of a foundation to glue. I mean, to stay more secure. So And I'll do that with each of these. Start by some glue on the bottom. A little bit of glue on this edge, just like this. Show you. And then I'll place the leg down, and you'll have to hold it, you know, like this for a few minutes or a minute, you know, just to make sure it adheres. Then I will do the next one. Just want to get a little bit of glue on this edge. And I'm just eyeballing it, making sure that they are the same distance away from this edge. And then I'll hold this one a little bit for a minute. Okay, and then I'll go on and do the same thing to all four legs. Okay, so the next step while my legs are drying is I'm going to paint these bamboo sticks. Now you can use a skewer. These are just basically the same thing, so it doesn't have a point, and they're not as um, I guess not as dense as a skewer. But I'm going to use these to, let me show you, to cross them in each opening like that. I don't know if you can see it. Um, so I want to measure them out first, and I'm going to mark it. Just going to mark it with my thumb, and then I'm going to cut them at the length that I need them. And they're very easy to cut. So I will cut 6 of them because I want to do 3 sides, and I'm going to leave the back side open so that I can easily put my tea light candle in and out. Let's see, I need a few more, and they come like this, and I got them from Amazon. And like I said, you can use a skewer. They work. I usually use a skewer actually, but I saw these and decided to try them. Let's see, 2, 4, 6. Okay. So I'm just going to use one of these again to mark where I need to cut it. And they cut very easily. Okay, and then you can paint them whatever color you want to paint them, in contrast to your top. So I have a black paint marker, and I thought I'd try that instead of just using a brush and paint. I mean, you can use the brush and paint it with just plain paint if you want. I was just thinking it might be easier to use the marker, the black paint pen. Actually, I'm not sure. It might actually go faster if I just paint it. Yeah, I think I'm just going to paint it with the paintbrush. It'd probably be easier. So I'm just going to use a paper plate. Don't have much left of my black paint. So that's basically how I do. I just do as much of the top part as I can and let it dry, and then I'll go back and pick up where on the paint side because it's already dry and paint the other ends. Okay, now I'm going to put the top of the lantern. So I'm going to glue it. So how I'm going to do this is I'm just going to put the glue on top of each of the posts, and then I'm going to carefully put the top and try to make it as even as possible. Okay, so that's how I'm going to do it. Okay, so you can see I've put a few of the skewers on the side. My top is not quite dry yet, but I just want to show you how I do that. I'm just sticking them and pushing them up against that bottom base and then towards, evenly in the back so that you put them on this base here. And I just use hot glue. On the ends. And then just sticking them in there. And I had to cut a little bit off the tip just to make sure it was long enough, short enough to fit in there. Got a little bit of glue drippings. Okay. And then the back is open, so all I have to do is turn on my tea light, slip it through the back into the little like cup I made. And then there you go. And then you can decorate it with a little floral or flower, a bow, or however you want to do the top. And I'll do that, and I'll stick it on my shelf, and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, I just wanted to show you before that I'm just going to take my brush with my black paint, and I'm going to do a little bit of distressing on the edges. And you can do this with any color you want. I decided since my skewers are black, I'm just going to do it with the black. And it doesn't have to be perfect or anything. I just want to get a little bit of distressing so it's not plain brown. And I'm going to do this all the way around, and then I'll show you what it looks like. So for today's project, I'm just going to show you a quick tutorial on how I arrange these fall florals into a bouquet for a centerpiece for my table. So if you're anything like me, I know that I really like to simplify things, and I like to make things on a budget. So I purchased these florals from the Dollar Tree, and I'm going to arrange them in a bouquet and put them in my vase. And it's really simple. I don't go by any specific way to do this. I just gather them all together and put the taller ones in the back and just sort of arrange them to my liking. So all I really do is I just take them piece by piece and just put them together in different places and just see how I like it. And if I want to switch it up, I'll mix them and arrange them differently, just until I get it to how it looks. And then once I do that, just kind of fluff it around, move things around, and then I'm going to take them and pull them all together real tight, and I'm going to use a zip tie to hold them all together. Not just from here. I'm going to zip tie them, and then I would probably have to use another one just to make sure that it's nice and secure. And you're going to pull it really, really tight. And I'll show you why I zip tie it before I put it into the vase, because this particular vase I'm using is a wide mouth vase, and I don't have a foam piece to put in it, so I'm going to use something else, another little hack that I came up with to put in my vase, and I'll show you how to do that. So this is my vase, and I'm just gonna place it in here for right now and kind of flip it out. It's just a little tight with the zip ties on it. Oops. So I'm just gonna arrange them a little bit here. Okay, so you can see when I set it in my vase, it's a little bit floppy and doesn't fit quite right. So what I thought I would do is I'm going to take this cardboard spool left over from a mesh roll, and it's actually too tall, so what I'll do is I'll cut a piece off of it, and then I'll slip my bouquet inside that of the roll like that, and then I can put it into my vase and start to arrange it a little bit better. And if it's a little bit floppy still, you can stuff some things inside the vase so that it stays still. I put a few little pieces of stuff in there just to keep it still. And now I'm going to start putting some of my boxwood and these hanging vines, and I'm going to just slip them around the lip of the jar of the vase and just let them hang. Now this is one option that you can do for your arrangement. Okay, so now we have a super simple fall arrangement of flowers that you can use as a centerpiece on your table or your mantel or on a coffee table. And it's a unique look and very budget friendly. So I want to show you another option. This one, all I did here was that I arranged the bouquet by putting the hanging vines and boxwood inside the bouquet. So it's just a little bit that pokes out or hangs off. It gives it a different look. I really like this look actually.
Want more ideas like these? Watch this new fall DIY video next, and don't forget to subscribe for new tutorials every week.